My name is Ahmad Hassan Bennett. I'm a marriage and family therapist associate. I'm a couples, family, and individual therapist. The communities that I work with are obviously communities of color, first responders, and veterans, because I'm a naval veteran myself. I'm medically retired. And so we navigate those spaces, those communities on improving our communication, learning how to set healthy expectations and boundaries. There's more to it, but that's where I start. My journey with mindful therapy started, I want to say probably middle of 2022. So around maybe summer of 2022. I was working for a community mental health agency that I envisioned that I was probably going to stay there forever. I just came out of internship. I got hired at this particular agency that I really wanted to work with. I thought I was doing a really great job, making great work. So I was going to be out of a job, and I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go next. The reason why I got into therapy and eventually wanted to get into private practice, because I've been working for the public and private sector for 30 years of my professional career in different capacities. I wanted to be my own boss. I got really tired of working really hard for other people. Then when it comes to myself, I'm too tired to do anything. So that's kind of where the impetus started. I got this really weird email through LinkedIn. I honestly thought it was a scam because it sounded too good to be true. You get support with licensure, you get support by getting credentialed with insurance companies, you're getting support in all these other areas, and you could make a pretty good salary. It sounded way too good to be true, and I almost just hit delete. But something told me to check into it, and I did. And I had a conversation with some amazing people that was like, okay, this seems legit. This seems legitimate. Let me do some more investigations. And of course, I've heard mindful therapy group working community mental health, trying to refer people out for specific services and whatnot. But I wasn't really, I didn't know what I didn't know. Once I discovered how I could do this with the roadmap of creating everything from my own website, my own marketing materials, understanding the nuts and bolts of insurance. It's like Enigma code stuffed in fortune cookie and a magic genie bottle. I mean, there's so much, it's so confusing just to understand that whole process of billing clients. Because again, I'm from that nonprofit space where people we work with are Medicaid, Medicare, right? So I don't know anything about Primerica and all these other different insurances and what they require. So I got support in getting paneled with those insurance companies. I got support in my marketing materials. And even now, I'm fully booked. I see anywhere from 25 to 30 clients a week. That's a little heavy, but hopefully my process, the way it works out, I'm still able to do all my case noting. I get support with accounts payable and accounts billing. Areas that I've done before in other careers, but that's not what I do now. I just want to do therapy. I just want to do my work. I'm not trying to sit here and billing and all those other aspects of the business, which are important, but I just want to do what I do best. And so that's why I came to Mindful. I just rolled the dice and said, what do I got to lose? I'm already out of work. I might as well just try something. And it's worked out amazingly well, actually. Yeah, so what I really appreciated was the support. Because when you're stepping in this space, I felt like I was drinking from a fully charged fire hose. There were so many aspects of this work that you need to be aware of, from legal protections, HIPAA, life insurance, billing. All these different aspects of the business are very important. If I was just doing this by myself, I'll tell you this, I've never worked as hard as I've ever worked before than working for myself. That's one thing you're going to learn. You're going to work in setting something that you own, that's yours. There's a relationship, obviously, with Mindful that's very supportive and helpful, but this is my business. I write my own disclosures. I get to determine my own hours. I get to determine how I take vacations. And so, there's pros and cons to everything, but if it's not working out, I have to take a lot of that burden and responsibility if things aren't working the way I need to. It's my business. So I have to be active in getting things set up. And so when I was first getting started, there was a lot to try to wrap my arms around, but I appreciated my account manager that you get paired with. They're like your conduit to getting help. So when I have a home office, obviously you can see in the background, I try to have iconography that relates to the clientele I work with, getting everything wired right, set up. I'm not an IT person, right? But I have that support, getting my office going. I'm not a billing person, but I get support in helping slow pays get caught up or coming up with payment arrangements for people, because it's good luck trying to find, community mental health out in town without a year-long wait list, at least for our region anyway. So yeah, I try to find ways to navigate these challenges that when I was working for a nonprofit, someone else, that was their main job. That's my role and responsibility. But guess what? I'm not doing it alone. I have a team. I have support. If I reach out, I get feedback within the hour, if not sooner. I get phone calls. Hey, what's going on with this, that, and the third? People check in. People follow up. If I get a question out there, I always get a response. It's the support that I really was kind of surprised, because I'm literally by myself, but feel more supported than I was working in some of those other agencies. Not shade at those other agencies. It's just, it is what it is in the nonprofit space. It's very, very overworked and understaffed. I'm getting so much education and learning and just operating my own business in this space that alone is the price for that kind of knowledge. What you would tack onto it, but it's got to be something. And what I really like also about Mindful vis-a-vis my supervision in our leadership teams, self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. As you can tell, there's a lot going on, and people come with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stuff. And I think that's kind of speaking no matter where we're working at, but especially in this field, I think we're all kind of feeling it. So checking in is how I'm doing as an individual, as a person, then as a therapist, I appreciate. Because sometimes as therapists, as those in the helping arts, the last people we check in isn't ourselves. And so having someone just, it's like, what you doing? How you doing? It's good. And again, I work completely separate than the rest of my colleagues and coworkers, but I still feel fully 100% supported in a remote or hybrid space. And I appreciate that. Sure. For the first time that I went live, which was September of 2022, I believe, I was fully booked within like 2.5, 3 weeks. By the time I turned on all my marketing data and information and all the websites and all the things, I was like, oh, okay, slow down, which was a good problem to have, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? As far as the scope of how many people I could work with, the type of clients that I get to work with as well. So I was fully booked at my quota or my criteria for financially. I was able to meet that instantly, like 3 weeks. Seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. And then I was able to retain those clients and just be able to set up that system and that model. And then having it almost instantaneous response was kind of overwhelming. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, oh my goodness. When I was working at the previous agency, I had anywhere from 17, 22 clients. And these are like, unhoused clients, really tough, a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, we got clients here that have tough stuff going on as well. But I feel like I have a little more control in how I can manage it. The point of communication, the way I have it set up, I may or may not have control issues. I like to interview my clients before I start working with them. So I'm able to do an interview before we start working so they can get a sense of me and I can get a sense of them before we both agree into this experience together. I think that's cool. And so if I need to take time off, because I have children myself, I have 5 daughters, 5 amazing daughters, but they get sick, COVID, all the things. I can set those appointments. I can cancel those appointments. I can communicate with my clients, let them know what's going on in real time, and we can reschedule or whatever we need to do. There's no surprises with anybody. I had some health concerns that I was hospitalized for a period of time. Guess what? Mindful was able to support me during that process. And all my clients came back. I came back. I was healthy again to work again. That speaks volume to the communication that I think Mindful develops with all of our clients, develops with all our therapists, develops with all the insurance companies. They go the extra distance to making sure everybody knows what they need to do. You can never say you didn't know. And so I really appreciate that, is having access to information that affects all the different parts of myself and my business, and I get support. I can't complain. What I appreciate about Mindful is the attempts to build and maintain healthy community. That comes in multiple forms. There's in real life activities where Mindful teams we're going to baseball games. Go Mariners. Woo-hoo! We're going to sporting events. We're going to pubs and restaurants, doing local stuff. But then also in the remote space, there's trainings that you can sign up for through Mindful, best practices in managing and running your business, where you can sit down and you can, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole in a particular area of your business, you can do that. We have online consult groups for a variety of different community supports, from the LGBTQ+ to working with different families. We're able to either send messages out saying, hey, I got a thing, because someone come, can anybody help? And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a response. Community is important. I can't stress that enough. And it's those in the healing arts providers such as ourselves. I don't care if you're a doctor, nurse, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, whatever you want to call yourself. We can't do this work alone. And so when you're working with your clients and you're working with your patients, it's nice to know that I have support to make sure that I have a fine line between my personal and professional life. That's important. I think it's really important to commiserate with others. Like, hey, I'm having a day. I don't know. I think we all have had therapy days where it's like every client we have is just having the worst day of the life. And you have to manage that. So it's nice talking with other people and sharing that energy and spreading it around so you're not holding it all in yourself.